Asked that he be on a phone connection, and he has no voting, no authority at all here in the meeting other than to be informed.
Hello. Tom? Hi.
There we are.
Would you care to join the meeting?
Yeah, I sure do. Thank you.
Okay, we're about to get underway, and it's past 6 o'clock. We normally invite those who appear here with specific issues to speak and either stay or leave as they choose. So why don't we get on with the CR 900 project, the widening of County Road.
Yeah. My name is Dwayne Sanders, and I'm with Bernard and Lockmuir. One of the reasons we're here is because at the end of this project, up there by the Little League field, and where the urgent care center is at, we're proposing to put sidewalk in from the urgent care center on both sides of the road, you know, coming north into town on the urgent care side, and then also on the Little League field side. So to do that, there is a document that we provided at a previous meeting that basically says that that we're not adversely affecting the ability for the park to function as is. You know, so that has to be signed. Otherwise, the project can't proceed without that document. It's an environmental 4F law, is what it is. You can't adversely affect a recreational area, you know, without consent, you know. So I mean, all we're doing is basically we're going to have a 12-foot lane, an 8-foot buggy lane, and then there'll be sidewalk and then a ditch as is. So it's going to shove your right-of-way out a little bit, you know, up there by the park. But that sidewalk shouldn't adversely affect anything. That grass area is just kind of a parking area. I know my kids have played all-star softball up there, and I know some people do park out there, but it shouldn't, you know, limit the ability for people to park or anything like that. So that's basically why I'm here.
What will happen to the utility line this morning?
Those will be relocated. Yeah, those will have to be relocated.
So this is to, our signature here has to do solely with the recognition that it will not adversely affect.
That you're basically agreeing that, you know, that's not going to damage the way that park functions or cause any adverse effect to it by putting a sidewalk down through there. Since it's public use land, it has to be agreed upon by all parties to do that. So,
Keith, you've seen the drawing. You've been over there. Do you have any comments to make?
No, I think after we met with them and looked at it, I think it would be an asset to have them sidewalks down through there for the park view and everything look nice down through there.
I agree. So we will entertain a motion to sign this.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we sign this document here tonight for the county engineer to move forward with what they need to do to our permission for the
Bernard
parks activities.
Keith, does that affect the sign that's there now?
It may, but
Probably will, but that can also be pushed back a little bit.
If it does, any damage will be paid for by easement right away.
yeah,
It's
that'll.
back quite a ways. It'd be close, but even if it did, we may want to get it back a little bit more to.
Okay, motion made.
Yeah, 240C.
Right.
Motion made, and I second that. Unanimous. So if you'll sign here.
That's just need your signature.
Just
Isn't it?
go on over. All right.
Yeah, one for your records and one for ours.
Yeah, any property taken will be reimbursed.
Oh yeah, there'll be, you know, 3 separate appraisals done, you know, just like everything else, and then there'll be a cost to cure, so any signs or anything like that will be appraised by 3 separate appraisals, and then you guys can, you know, work with the appraiser as to come to agreement on price.
As an Eagle Scout project, so
Yeah.
it's sort of.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll help us down the road and connect sidewalk over through the park for a big trail or something. It'd be nice.
It will, because you've actually got, you know, connectivity down through there, so,
Right.
yeah.
No, I think it'll improve.
Especially for people at Parkview that wanna walk.
Will it have a handicap exit at the end, or will it be like the ones on Race
I
Street?
hope it has an exit, a handicap exit.
Yeah, you know, everything that we do, you know, a project like this has federal funding, so we have to adhere to all federal ADA guidelines, you know, I mean, we can't do anything without meeting those guidelines when there's federal funds tied to it, so.
We, get that in, the folks there can, get on their skateboard and coast over to the park.
Yeah.
Right.
Even the honors.
Okay, we appreciate you, coming in. Now, you have any other questions on us, or?
No, I don't. Do you guys have any other questions?
They did ask when it would be, moving forward.
Well, that's the thing. What we're doing now, the design that we're having now, we've got a design that goes all the way, you know, pretty much the length of Camelback Road all the way up to the city of Odon. And there'll be a public hearing here in the first of the year for everyone to come in and you know, look at everything and you know, if there's something they want to see that they or something that they see that they'd like to change, that's when all those comments will be collected and written down. And then the construction of the project is kind of a tricky thing to date because it's going to happen as funding becomes available. The first phase, funding is secure, and that's going to get the project up to County Road 800. So, you know, it's a shot in the dark. You know, when NDOT has a call for projects, if you have a project that's underway, you'll be able to get funding, you know, because you've got something that's got a long-term goal and an end terminus. So, you know, they'll fund it in pieces up through there. They're not going to just throw, you know, $20–30 million at us. They're going to throw $4 or $5 million at us and do each phase as it comes. So, you know, you could, I would say, you know, it could be as much as 8 years. I would think would be, you know, the farthest time date. The way things are moving and the way Phil is pushing this project. So,
It's just a couple miles north of 800 north, where that stone church sits there. We had a lady give us a pretty nice chunk of money, and we just want to concrete a bunch of that parking lot, but we actually need to get with you guys and figure out what you guys are going to do or how that's going to work there before we pour any concrete out there, because we just want to come toward the road.
okay. Yeah, that would probably be the best at public hearing, and unless you're going to move on that before then, you know, or is that something that's in the works like real quick?
It's something that we are going to do, but you know.
It wouldn't be in the winter though, would it?
No.
Okay,
no.
so something like that would be, you know, it would be good to bring it up in a public meeting, like, you know, an actual official, an NDOT hearing where that's all going to be discussed, documented, and you know, and there'll be an NDOT representative present. So,
Will that buggy lane, will that be blacktopped?
yeah, the plan is now, and that's one of the reasons why, you know, the project is so expensive is they want to do the driving lanes in concrete, and then they want to have the buggy lanes in asphalt, and that's just to provide that contrast so that people will stay in the driving lane. They know the color differential means the vehicle stays in this lane and then the buggy stay on the blacktop.
Okay.
And then there'll also be a rumble strip in between the concrete pavement and the blacktop. You know, it'll be about, I don't know, 8 inches wide, something like that. About half, I think the standard rumble strip is 16 inches wide. These will be about 8 inches wide, something like that there, to let people know that they're getting into that buggy lane. And then there'll also be, you know, additional signs
Okay.
up through there too. So,
How much of that road do you straighten and how much of it do you level down? Because as you crest the hills, you can't really see the buggies, and that's what's killing them.
everything now, you know, everything that we're doing now has to adhere to, you know, we have to provide sight distance for all sag vertical curves and all crest vertical curves. And you're looking at a minimum of 300, at 45 mile an hour, that's a minimum of 360 feet. So, you know, we have to adhere to that criteria, which is supposed to be sufficient. But what you do on a situation like this, since you have buggies that could potentially be in the road, you're probably going to want to try to meet a 500 foot sight distance or something more than the minimum, you know, to make that work. So it's going to fool with the profile grade of the road. That will definitely have to be adjusted and looked at very closely.
And do you put reflectors in the rumble strips?
Well, I don't know for sure. I don't know if they're doing that or not. I would have to talk to Phil about that and ask him if it's something that he wants to do. I mean, we can definitely do it. That's definitely not a
I was
problem.
just curious myself.
I just don't know if that's
Place
something.
to go would be their meeting, a public meeting.
Yeah, I don't want to put words into Phil's mouth, you know, without him being present. But yeah, it's something that we can put in the plans. If he wants it, we'll do it.
Thank you for coming, and,
Okay. Thank you.
anything else we can do, let us know.
Okay, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Okay.